We work with Africans as underdogs, as servants, as slaves of their own economy on their own land. We are going nowhere. Come around some geographical, historical extrapolations. No, the Khoisangs also were not here. They came first, so Africans must go back. Zulus are coming from there. We must also go back. We, the whites, we found the land unoccupied. Well, if that is the case, can we as Africans right now walk up into Europe, walk up into England, walk up into Netherlands and the Dutchland and claim any piece of that land? The answer is a big, fat no. And if the Africans don't have access to the European land, what makes Europeans and Chinese people think that they can have access to African land and not be held accountable by the Africans who got here first? Leave us with the Khoisan, leave us with the Karangas and the vendors, leave us as Africans to discuss our own territorial issues. But a colonial system cannot walk into Africa and begin to determine as to who owns the land. When they arrived yesterday, we were here way before the white people got here for millions of years, if not thousands of years. So that political gimmick, which is being cooked even in universities, is to send a different narrative. Africans also don't own the land. Land belongs to those who live in it and work on it. I think some of those beautiful slogans, they sound very politically nice, but ethnically and culturally, they're an adulteration of common sense and ownership, simply designed to remove, exorcise Africans from their own identity as fellow Africans. So South Africa, ANC, is at the crossroads. You may want to look at the Zimbabwe model. You have a choice in the short term to have an economy with DA in the next 5-10 years. All ANC cadres are in jail. The white people are back in power. Good luck for that narrative. It will give you some peace of mind between now and 2028, 2030. But while they are in power in the next 5 years, the question is, how are you going to be able to reinstate yourself as Africans to rule, run, and govern your own country? And even worse, how long will it take you to begin to build your own industry and own your own economy? There's no country in the world that has succeeded on foreign investments. Soon or later, South Africa must wake up to discover that foreign investments are not the best way of running a country. You need local investments. You need to activate the academics. You need to activate the entrepreneurs. You need to activate innovators within your own economy who can then own mining, own manufacturing, own production. Feed yourselves, own the farms, feed yourselves. And it will take you time as South Africans to stop scorning and mocking Zimbabwe for taking a decision that you are failing to make. Had this land issue been included in the sunset clauses of 1994, we would not be where we are right now. And with the coming up of the constitutionalization of South Africa being the most liberal constitution in the whole world, all the junk that is in the West, we accept. All the junk that is in the North, we accept. All the junk that is in the East, we accept. Cut and paste, Swedish, Norwegian, Canadian, Australian, British, American Constitution, and Cyril Ramaphosa is responsible. And I'm so glad that the constitutional issues are coming to the man who was flying around the world cutting and pasting this constitution. Now he is looking at the constitution which he is meant to have drafted with some few friends who cannot mention for religious reasons, to bring South Africa to this, our constitution, the Rainbow Nation. Unfortunately, the black part of the flag is not clear in that constitution, because within that constitution, the issues of land must have been fundamental and basic. I will say it again until it sinks between someone's ears. We did not go to war to fight for democracy. We went to war to fight for the land. We went to war to fight for the land. Now hear me well. If we went to fight for the land, therefore the white men, the colonialists, cannot teach us about democracy, because they, as white people, don't even know what democracy is. During their reign, there was no democracy in Africa. There was no democracy in Zimbabwe. There was no democracy in South Africa during the colonial rule. Democracy comes with the black people who fight the white system. And after the white fight the white system, they say, okay, let's come down. Let's talk together. Let's live together in peace and harmony. The same peace and harmony which the colonialists could not give the Africans for free. If democracy is the best way of governance, then why did you make the Africans fight for it? Think. 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 Hey, we want democracy. We want democracy. Are you sure it's DA you want democracy? When you could not give Africans democracy, now you want democracy. You want democracy. Can you even spell the word democracy and tell us what it means? Economically, what is economic democracy? What is cultural democracy? What is linguistic democracy? Can a white man explain to me what is democracy? And show me when, as a white man, when you are in power, have you been democratic? You have never been democratic. Your color is white people, does not believe that black people are human beings. As such, you will not offer them the equal rights and opportunities as you offer yourself. You not offer them money as you offer yourself. You not offer them privileges as you offer yourself. Why? Because you own the means of production, the banking, the insurances, and you have the land in your hands. How can you be democratic when you have 100 people on your farm and you are the one owning the farm and all these are your servants? Can you start off by giving democracy to your own farm workers? The answer is you can't do that. You can't even cut your farm and give your farm workers pieces of land on what you claim to be your land. Now you want constitutions to protect your land rights because the banks will take this as collateral and surety. We now know that rubbish and mischief that you play within the financial and insurance companies so that you can hold power to yourselves. So that party is over in the understanding of the great continent and its politics. And finally, this one, I don't think it will sit well, but since it has been dropped in my spirit, I will share it with you. South Africa allows the formation of a city, a country within a country, a city and a town and a state called Orania. Orania, which has its own government. Orania, which has its own insurance. Orania, which has its own currency. Orania, which has its own flag. Orania, which has its own passports, where blacks are not allowed to live in Orania. South Africa, the Rainbow Nation. But white people, the Afrikaners, have a privilege of creating their own state within the South African state. Woo! Beautiful, isn't it? Monkey see, monkey learn. Monkey learn, monkey do. Hey, yeah, monkey see, monkey learn, monkey do. Now, if the white people, the Boeros, the Afrikaners, are allowed to set up Orania in South Africa, a separate state within the country under self-actualization, self-determination, and self-governance. We want to preserve our culture, to set up a trust, Orania, in South Africa. Wow. So if whites are allowed to have Orania, why are vendors not allowed to have Venderland? Why are Tswanas not allowed to have Maputa Tswana? Why are Xhosas not allowed to have Ciskei and Transkei? Why is Mpumalanga not allowed to have KwaNdebele and Mpumalanga? And here is the Trojan horse. Why is KwaZulu-Natal not allowed to have a Zulu state? Because if Afrikaners can have their state, then why are you as South Africans acting funny when you hear that KwaZulu-Natal wants to become a separate state within a state? If whites can do it, why can't black people do it? You see, you have set up this chessboard in a very complicated way. And right now, the kingpin of your constitution is on checkmate. Checkmate. You will not have an opportunity to stop KwaZulu-Natal becoming a separate state by themselves in the same direction in which you have approved Orania to become a separate state within the state. And I laugh and giggle when DA burns the South African flag, the rainbow flag. Burn it. And yet they want to run the country under the same flag, which they don't respect. Think about that. Cape Town wants to become a separate state because these are white people. We will consider it. You have something coming up your way, South Africa. And I say this with a beautiful, beautiful reflection as your watcher. That let's keep watch and see as the political terrain unfolds itself. Zuma is way older, way smarter than many of you young kids who are still wiping your nose with your fingers. In as much as you are looking at elections, Msholozi has gone past elections, past members of parliament, past provincial, past legislation of KwaZulu-Natal, past Mrs. Zulu, His Royal Highness, past King Mswati, past Ramabuza, creating consolidation, Free State, Ace Makashule, and etc. You are playing ponies when Msholozi is riding on a horse. This is the rook on your chase table. I will say it again. Only fools who don't understand politics will undermine the impact of unconstitutional behavior of South Africa and its mischief to its African primary audience. It's undermining civil rights, basic human rights of South Africans on key issues of education, morality, ethical behavior, land ownership, economic access. And you would think that the constitution will protect the black people. Alas, no. The constitution is protecting the white monopoly capitalists. We need, therefore, to start looking at which party can get into government and rescind, cancel, vote out, recall, some of these constitutional issues that are now part of our constitution, but they don't protect African and black rights as primary beneficiaries of the same constitution. This I leave to you for food of thought. For those of you who are academic and those of you who are progressive, you may want to take some time later and revisit some of these contributions, because what we are talking about is how will South Africa lead the southern part of Africa when they are failing to make fundamental decisions that transform the life of the South Africans. And it is key that we don't lose our sight on land. We don't have to own our land. Our land owns us. From it we came, to it we shall return. Let the battle lines be drawn. Let negotiations begin. Option 1, ANC and DA. And goodbye to the liberation struggle. MK, EFF, ANC. ANC, swallow the bitter pill. Twaratipa. Hold the spear, hold the knife, way to cut your hands. Swallow your pride. Consider EFF and MK as your partners. Option 3, ANC join hands with all the smaller parties, have a minority government. Good luck on that as you negotiate that. Ultimately, option number 4, ANC refusing to negotiate with anybody. And from now on, ANC deciding to become an opposition party within the political parliament and use their 40% as a negotiating tool. But while they are taking that position, then they must allow the country to be ruled and governed by those who will have united. This is a watershed. And I don't think Ramaphosa was aware that in his lifetime, his own constitution will become a challenge to the liberation of the Africans. Think about that. Until we meet again, stay away from trouble. Don't do what I wouldn't do. But if you decide to do it better.